All right, we gave in the books a little bit of a recap and a little bit on delay. So we're gonna do this in a quick, shall we say, time little spreadsheet. Yeah, that's how we're gonna get it there this week. Anyway, all right, so we got Cowboys, Rams. It was pretty much demolished throughout the whole game. I was like, it was pretty much over really quickly. I thought it was gonna be more of a game. It really wasn't. I was like, as soon as the Cowboys came out and scored, they defense just basically pinned their ear and just went out after Matthew Stafford. Stafford didn't help. He had a couple turnovers himself, was therefore also, put them down the hole, especially with the pick stick and stuff. And then after that, the Cowboys, once they're up on you, that's sort of a team where it's hard to come back on, especially if you're not really one of the top teams. I was like, but once they get up on you, it's pretty much a demolished them during that whole time. And then you really ain't come back. I was like, Dak Prescott probably played one of his better games of the year. We could say everybody sort of got involved with Lamb and Cooks and stuff like that. I was like, but Rams, I was like, they didn't have a chance in this one after getting down so much. It was pretty much over. Texans and Panthers wasn't a high scoring game, and I was like, really, with a lot of these games this day, I was like, most of the defense played really well. Most of the offense just did what they needed to do. But you had basically number one, number two picks, basically going against each other, Young against and Stroud. And I think this is really probably the best game that I think I've seen the Panthers really play. Young hadn't been playing bad this year at all, but Stroud has been the one that's been taking pretty much the season by storm, being especially of like the young rookie quarterbacks and stuff. But I think the Panther defense, I think they stepped up and played a lot like how we thought they would this whole year. But I thought this was probably also where not only did Young play well, but also getting the ball to all his receivers other than Thielen. I was like, Tremble caught a touchdown. I was like, Mingo, who's been really good for him. I was like, caught the ball and had enough speed to cut up field. Of course they got like Sanders and Hubbard there, but Stroud, I was like he did what he normally do, but they just couldn't score enough points here. They actually sort of shut him down in a lot of instances. But yeah, Young was able to get the win here and have the Panthers at least done a bit. Not looking forward to some winless type season, nothing like that. They've been a game until like the end, which a young team sort of just kind of does with a young quarterback, even though some spots they don't have it. But they got the win. Dolphins, Patriots. I like the fact that the score looks like it was, and I was like, the game was really never really a threat of being, of like the Patriots had a chance, really. I was like, Mac Jones had a couple good throws, but really it was really all about the Dolphins. I thought the Dolphins, the reason I really liked this game because I was like, for the Dolphins that always sort of, it's like, quick offense or getting a whole bunch of chunk yards. And not saying that they didn't, because I was like, Tyreek Hill is a beast and whatnot. But I do like that they after a couple of the losses they had, they sort of shown that, hey, we can also drive down the field and get yards as we can at the same time. Where you had like Chase Claypool got into a couple of the game. I was like Cedric Wilson. I was like that dude is over here making plays in the game. Of course, you got Smythe and you got Barrios who get like a couple yards here and there. But it's really just Tyreek Hill just because not only can he like do everything, but he's like such a deep threat. But also you could give him ball in short yard and he could also take it to the house and stuff. So it's always a threat. We got a little bit more chance to see how the defense gets to look with Ramsey in there, how he's able to play defense, and also you can see how he is a good corner of like, oh, I know I'm supposed to do this, but this looks like an opportunity. And that's sort of how it was when he took that interception. And that's sort of what this I was like the defense needs. Well, pass rush for what they have, but like and how he can create turnover. Now you got another cornerback that can do that as well, but he's also a bigger dude and also got those instincts. I was like, the Dolphins sort of going up in the right direction, and that and I was like, plus if you're gonna try to work on some stuff, Patriots are pretty good team because I was like, Belichick's going to try, but then after that, they're really not a squad to really worth a damn. Vikings, Packers. Sucks that Kirk Cousins basically done after that game because I felt like they were probably putting together their stuff. I was like Addison and Hawkinson was pretty much leading the charge. Uh, for pretty much their offensive game. And the defensive backs have been playing pretty well. And also, I guess when you're really playing against the Packers, I'm like, don't get me wrong, the defense was trying to hold them into the game. They at times, but I was like loving them just couldn't generate any offense. Love was just throwing some stupid passes at times too, where it was just kind of like, and sometimes even when he makes like a decent pass, like the one that got intercepted when he threw it to the receiver, and the receiver should have just came down with it. Even that, like after all the other stuff he does, it's sort of like it's one of the things where it's like that pass is okay if you already been doing really well, but just you haven't. It sort of just feels like you're pulling at us, and yeah, and I was like, and so far I was like, and that's sort of been the Packers' downfall that those passes just hadn't been completed, and it, you don't know if it's the offense. It looks like kind of just love, and it's a little unfair just to say it's always him, but that's sort of how it's looking right now. Anyway, I was like the Vikings get the win despite losing Kirk Cousins for the season. Titans and Falcons. Uh, Talk about it. So another game that the Falcons really shouldn't probably have lost. Don't get me wrong, the Titans was playing really well. Levis was in there. I was like, they were sharing the split between Malik Willis and Levis. But to be honest, I really think that they really was playing the game for Levis. Because a lot of the plays really looked like Derek Carr and Taysom Hill, where it was like Malik Willis is here for the Taysom Hill plays, while Will Levis is here to play offense. Because a couple of times I'm like, especially on like what Will Levis was doing, I'm like, Hopkins was open. It was like I'm not going. You can't take away from Levis and him play pretty good. But I was like, a lot of play with just Hopkins. It wasn't like, oh man, look at Levis and the way he's playing. It was really look at Hopkins being open. Oh, he's open again. Oh, he's open again. Now you could probably say the difference is that Levis versus Will is probably the throwing accuracy, I guess you want to say. That we know where arm talent really comes into play because they both got like strong arms, but it's knowing how to use it. But a lot of that was just Hopkins, and Hopkins really just sort of just ate the Falcons up. And also, so Ritter also was just giving the ball away. It seemed like every time you look, he had a damn fumble, and to the point where they set his ass down, and it looked like he's going to probably also be done. But yeah, no, the Titans got this win. I was like also too. I mean, you got a big, strong quarterback back there. I don't see any reason why Tannehill comes back. But yeah, Titans was able to take this victory from Eagles and Commander. Talk about once again. I was like the Commanders play them strong to the very end of the game, and to be honest, I was like they had them. They was up on them, but with a team like the Eagles, you can't really say you up on them like that. Like unless it's a top team playing a top team, but when you're sort of not a top team, you sort of got to be on your P's and Q's. And they was on them for a while, and then after that, it was just AJ Brown just turning into a Madden card. After that, where he was just making wild ass catches, he was over here just basically just Deboing, which is funny because of the actual player named Debo, but he was doing that to the whole defense the whole time. But at the same time, the Commanders and their offense was basically just like McLaurin, Samuel, Thomas. They were they were working that defense as well too. It wasn't really until it started becoming more. I'm like, don't get me wrong, Sam Howell he also threw a couple of interceptions, but once that offensive line just basically got taken down, that was a wrap. And then after that, you could just see that it's just like, oh, here we go again. There was nothing they could do. And after that, I was like, the game was just totally just being done with. And then after that, the Eagles just kept running through them, and then the Commanders couldn't stop them. It's almost I was like the defense probably just ended up getting tired after a while, just too much back and forth. I was like they're not that strong on the DB end for Washington to contend with the receiver because I was like they basically blew a coverage to basically have Devontae Smith to score, and it was pretty much wrap after that. Yeah, so Eagles win that game. Saints and Colts. I was like the Colts have been pretty much just like like damn like like a lot of games they was in, they could have won, and there was another one that they pretty much had them, for most of the game, and then I mean, yeah, like Derek Carr played well, he played good, and got into Michael Thomas because Michael Thomas found, I was like he made a really good grab, um, but to be honest, it's really Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is over here the one that's really was beating the Colts ass. Let's be honest. Like if they didn't have that, I don't know if they had generated as many points as they do. Which you would think is crazy considering who they do have on offense. I was like Kamara still is still basically being the main dude. Other than Hill, that's really getting them point. Because I was like Thomas wasn't catching the ball the whole time, but I was like, but he did get on the slant and of course the touchdown pass and stuff like. He's not like saying he's not doing what he's doing, but I was like, you can still see there's something not fully there with him and Carr just yet. Carr still is not fully like he'll drive them down the field a bit, but it's just like it's hard for them to get into the end zone sometimes, and it's hard for them to generate points. They just seem really sluggish, but then in the second half they seem like they could catch on fire. But the Saints would Taysom Hill took this game away from the Colts. I was like another game where the Colts had a chance, and I mean like a real chance, not like they were in the game in the first quarter, and no, they actually had a chance. Jaguar to Steelers. I was like, yeah, there was a game that the score seemed like this is a game where they was like, oh, they might have a chance. They didn't. It wasn't. No, I was like, the defense tried their best. Don't get me wrong. But after a while, they couldn't do nothing on offense, which pretty much just led to too much of the defense just being out there and Trevor Lawrence just taking advantage of it. They didn't light the world up, but still got the good defense. But I was like, but they could never just get rid of them. They were basically just taking them down. I mean, like I was like, they could never get them off the field. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So I was like, and when you got ETN out here and Evan Ingram playing really well, I was like, where like Trevor Lawrence don't have to just drop balls all the time. I was like, he can dunk and make sure that hey, third or whatever, we fine. Third in this, we're fine. And that pretty much just basically beating the Steelers. Kind of like the offense can't do nothing anyway, even to get on the field. Jets and Giants game. Sorry if you watched this one. There was really nothing here. I was like, neither team was really doing anything. I guess you could say the defense was playing really well or good, because I was like really well, probably too high, but good for keeping the score low. Tyrod Taylor gets taken out. Thus, that makes it a game where it's like Zach Wilson versus that next quarterback. Yeah, I was like, I guess it's a game that the Jets shouldn't have won, because technically the Giants missed a couple field goals. But it was a game that basically both teams should have lost. That's how I felt. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Jets defense did what they're supposed to do, played pretty good, but I was like, the Giants did too, and they don't have the same defense. Either, whatever, it's a game. I'm not going to. Browns Seahawks. Now, this is another game that basically came down to the wire. I was like, pretty much Walker couldn't get them basically down the field at that moment, toward the end of the game. Unlike the Colts game, I was like, they pressured them and they turned the ball over on them. It was just really, I was like, Geno Smith did what he does, where he get the ball to Lockett and get the ball to Njigba. Metcalf was back in his game, caught a couple passes and looking really well. But I think it's important that they sort of got Njigba going. He scored a touchdown, and now you got three top receivers that's able to go with this offense that already has Walker just running down the field and always finding a way to get open. Also, too, with the zone scheme of Cleveland, I was like, no matter who's there at running back, even though Kareem Hunt hadn't really gotten off, but I was like, I don't know who the other dude is, I'm not going to lie. But I was like, he was able to just find holes and stuff like that. So they're able to do something well. But yeah, I was like, the defense always keeps them close enough into the game, but at the same time, they can only do so much when you got like 3, 4 receivers. Bobo over here with the Seahawks as well. Yeah, you got too many. You got too many weapons for the Seahawks to stop them. Especially versus the other side with Cleveland, where they offense just don't have enough to keep pushing like that. Seahawks basically pulled this one out at the end. Bengals and 49ers. I was like, talk about this look like Cincinnati that we all just think like going to go to the Super Bowl. That's how they pretty much look. The ball went to everybody. To everybody. Mixon was getting involved. Chase was getting involved. Higgins was back being involved. Boyd was scoring touchdowns. I'm not gonna lie, Boyd still looks weird because of like Higgins and Chase is like got single number that he's still in the 80 club. But yeah, no, Burrow getting his scramble game on where he over here. And I was like, now he's sliding and he's falling, so I was like, he ain't like, but I was like, he getting the job done. He getting like the 12 yard, 15 yards, 10 yards, whatever it takes to get that first down. He's doing it. So he looked like he's back fully healthy. He's spreading the ball all around. And defense is playing wild and fast over here, making Brock Purdy look normal, where he just not even seeing dudes. I was like, the pass rush is still top, where they just, and without Trent Williams, I was like, Henderson basically sealed the game by just knocking the ball out of his hand and causing a fumble. But yeah, I was like, Kittle was able to get off, but that was really it. I was like, out of the offense. McCaffrey had like decent stats, but not what we know he was from earlier in the year. Maybe he's still a little bit banged up. But the Bengals were able to pull out a win, which I don't think was too crazy considering Brock just came out of the concussion not too long before that. Broncos and Chiefs. Now, this was a game where it was like, didn't see that coming at all. Now, granted, I was like the Chiefs wide receivers and offense, which, that's sort of been everybody's gripe pretty much for the beginning of the year. Did not play well, and I feel like this is really the low of what it could be. I was like, I don't think we've seen the heights of what it could be either, but we know how, considering that a lot of these receivers are still like, that this is sort of what we're like. It seems like, and Mahomes has really been pulling a lot of stuff out his butt in order to win games. I was like, the defense, I was like, it was just a bad game by the Chiefs. I was like, the Broncos just got into a rhythm, and the defense really was just disrupting Mahomes so much, and that was just giving the offense a chance to really score. The Broncos offense to score. And that was just a really bad game by them, to be honest. But the Broncos got the victory over the Chiefs. Good for them. Ravens and Cardinals, one of those games that I like. It was like it was close. I'm not gonna say the score makes it seem closer than it was. It was a close game. The Cardinals had a chance. Yeah, I was like Dobbs and the offense. I was like they sort of gave the Ravens a couple more chances. By throwing interception and fumble here and there. So I was like, Lamar played pretty good, giving the ball to everybody. The offense is still looking like the offense still is on point. The receivers are catching the ball so much that Bateman is able to rip it out of a corner's hands. The running backs are doing really well, even though they're not, none of them are spectacular, but they're getting the job done nonetheless. And I was like, the defense played all right, even though they gave up like 24 points or whatever. But the defense was still pretty good. It really was just the Cardinals and the offense. They just couldn't just pull up enough of those drives. They would just get stagnant or to cause a turnover by the end of it. That basically, just that like made them just come up short. So it sucked. But the Ravens, they keep on winning. So hey, whatever. Bears and Chargers. I was like, I mean, after sort of like a little bit of the first quarter, you sort of seemed like this game was over. It would have been cool to see, Tyler Bayet, whatever, could have, kept going with his stuff or whatnot. But no, the Chargers really just got up on that ass really quickly, and it was over. It was a wrap after that. There's not really much to report on the game. It was just like young team for the Chargers team that really needed it. This wasn't a game that the Chargers were going to charge on and make some stupid mistake or nothing. And I was like, just a young Chicago team that lost here. And I was like, Raiders and Lions. Uh, Also, another game where it was really no point. The Raiders really just shot themselves in the foot constantly. Uh, and Detroit needed a bounce back game, and they got it against a team that, yeah, they needed to. And the Raiders just could not do anything worth a damn. I was like, Devontae could not get the ball worth a damn. Don't get me wrong, a couple times he got it, he dropped it, but then there's a couple times where that dude was open. Um, yeah, no matter how much Crosby does, it's almost feel like he got one of those like failed efforts and he's trying kind of like he be trying to give him a chance and it just doesn't work. But yeah, so Lions win that game. Anyway, that was my little delay recap of the Sunday Monday night games. So, but a week 8 that's done and over with. Anyway, like this, appreciate it. Thanks, and not hey next time. But until then, I'm out.